Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Tara Davis with the Relationship Playbook for Marriage. We are really fast approaching the holidays in the US. We're having Thanksgiving in a few days, Christmas is coming. We have so many different activities planned. We have office parties, we have friend Thanksgiving. We just have a lot on our plate. So, what I wanted to give you today is an opportunity to check in with your communication because a lot of times we have such an enormous expectation of how these events are going to transpire. And so, let's talk about the expectation. Let's talk about how to make sure that drama gets lessened and doesn't come in to the situation. It's going to come in. Let's talk about how to neutralize that. So, first of all, talking about neutralizing drama and how to talk with communication. So, with proper communication. So, as we are listening to different conversations, there's always an older aunt or an uncle or a neighbor who kind of corners you, right, in a conversation, and you're just thinking in your head, holy moly, how do I get out of this conversation? Let me give you this. Hey Patty, we all want to be heard, right? Like we all want to speak our voice. We all want to feel important. We all want to feel loved. And so here is something that I use a lot of times when it's a conversation, first of all, that may or may not be as important to me as the person delivering the conversation. So here's some different things that we can use to allow the person to know that we're really present with them. We're empathizing with them. We're having compassion. Maybe we do not even agree, but we're still listening. So here's some ways, and they sound kind of funny. Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Good. Right. So as you're using these, I know they sound really funny that I'm like saying these right now, but they're an actually really great way to just sit with that person. Sometimes it's an aunt or an uncle who's like 70 years old, or a neighbor that you only see once a year, or a relative that you only see once a year. And you want to connect with that relative, and sometimes they kind of get off on a tangent. Oftentimes we don't know how to quite sit there with them. We want to get out of the conversation, but we still want to just sit with them. So use those techniques. It doesn't mean that you agree with that person. It doesn't mean that you hold the same beliefs with that person. It just means you're sitting and acknowledging, oh, right. That feels fun. Or, wow, that must have been crazy. Just acknowledging what they're saying. Another way that you can sit with that person and be present is to literally repeat back what they just said. Oh, so you went to the doctor's office and had to wait for 5 hours. Like if that person just said, I had to wait for 5 hours. Oh, so you had to wait 5 hours, and they'll just, oh, right. And they'll just continue talking. Really? And then repeat what was just said. Here's something that we can use also to gracefully get out of a conversation. I have just really enjoyed connecting with you today, so-and-so. Thank you for sharing everything that you've shared with me today. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go over here. I really want to also connect with so-and-so. Oh, I've been wanting to chat with so-and-so as well. Make sure that you include their conversation in your exit. When you say also, it means that their conversation was just as important as the conversation that you're going to. Or when you say also, oh, I've been wanting to talk to them as well. Or I've also been wanting to talk to them. Thank you for everything that you have just shared. So you have also made that person feel just as important as someone else. So it sounds kind of funny to give you these techniques, but they come up, right? The situations always come up where you're just like, holy cow, I'm right here and I cannot listen to another word. Let's face it, it happens. So make sure they have felt heard. Make sure you have used compassion. Make sure that they felt important in this conversation and gracefully exit. That is my office partner. Okay, let's talk about making sure that the drama stays at a minimum. Of course, there's the two topics that may or may not want to enter, religion and politics. Those are the most, of course, heated topics ever. So depending on your family dynamics and how conversations revolve around religion and politics, you can either start bringing them up or not. Here's where I invite you to start checking in if a conversation starts to get heated, if you feel like you need to give your 2 cents, check in and see why you're compelled to add. Is it from a place of self-righteousness, like my way is the best way? And if it is, I encourage you to use some duct tape, because that self-righteous place doesn't usually get us anywhere, and it usually starts to add fuel to the fire. If you're coming from a place of, yeah, well, I really know, and my opinion is this is the right way, kind of coming from an egoic standpoint, might want to check that one out as well and see, by my addition to this conversation, am I adding fuel to the fire? Am I sparking someone along? Am I really getting their goat? And is that healthy and helpful for the rest of the group? It might just be that you use again what we just talked about. Right? Oh, for sure. I mean, if we're talking about the President of the United States, that's one of the most heated topics, and you like or dislike, and the conversation is the exact opposite of what your thoughts, beliefs are, maybe table those for another time and give that, right? Maybe don't say anything. And if someone asks you, well, you haven't really even contributed. Yeah, not today. There's always going to be someone who really wants to just keep poking you, right? I really invite you to let go. Let go. And if you want to engage, see where you are coming from. Where is that place that you want to engage? Are you wanting to be egotistical? Are you wanting to be self-righteous? I mean, we all go there. We all go to that place of self-righteousness and egotistical, and we just want to go there sometimes. Let's just be really mindful during the holidays why it is that we're chiming in. I really invite you to check in also before you go into any event, any holiday gathering, and just see where your energy is. See where you are. Are you feeling like you need to put up a shield? And if you are, ask why. Why do I feel defensive? Maybe I need to take a couple of deep breaths. And then if you feel defensive, just keep that on the forefront as you go through each event. Like, I feel really defensive, and so my words might feel defensive to other people. Maybe you don't want to talk as much in this event. If you go into an open event and it feels great, and you know that these are such like-minded people and we can all chat and have an enormously fun conversation, obviously go for it. So, okay, so checking in with where you are, using, right? Oh, of course. So using all of those acknowledging pieces, making sure that each person you've had a conversation with feels validated, feels like they are so glad they just had that conversation with you. If you need to get out of a conversation, and checking in to see what the reason is that you are responding to comments. Okay, see you right here next week. Cheers.